Alright, welcome to this place. If you're new here, it's called Opal Oracle, and you can call me Raji. And if you're returning, welcome back. Alright, happy opposite birthday. Yay. Onward and upward. Here we go. Alright, Sag. I feel like Saturn and your third house are emphasized, if you're aware of that. Let's talk a little bit about these two in combination. So I feel like you're completing a phase of like inner preparation. I'm going to write that down. That's a good thing. Completing a phase of inner preparation. And I feel like this began a few years ago. Probably like 2 or 3. Makes sense astrologically too, excuse me. So now what you'll be addressing or confronting, so you're with, confront, not argue with, but like confront to me, when you confront something, you're looking at it straight on. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, okay, what's up? How are you? Okay, plant, like you're with it. You're like, okay, here I am. Here we are. And so there's some structuring, I think, going on in ways of who you are, how you communicate. It kind of, Saturn in the third is going to operate on like a little bit of a day-to-day level. So maybe that's a bit of how this month goes. I could also see that, especially if there's been anything mentally, Saturn in the third, I have this natally, so I understand. Saturn in the third can make a person that like loves to learn. They just, once you get into something, it's like you go all the way. You know, you're very dedicated to the learning process. And I applaud you for that because it's hard. But it also can, you want to check in there in ways of any kind of mental patterns, your attitudes, habits, things like that. And just be like, okay, who am I now? Right? There might have been a time where maybe it was who you were was where you didn't have a voice. You know what I mean? And like where you felt like, because Saturn in the third can almost be like a mute, where it can, a person can feel like, I don't feel confident enough to speak my mind. Sometimes it can give a speech impediment. That could be part of it, but it's a soul lesson of like how does a person express who they are and what they know and what they're trying to learn about. So maybe your style of speaking and listening like could be changing a little bit, or a person just may become a little bit more aware of themselves in these kinds of situations. It's also the house of your immediate environment. So I feel like that is going to be most affected. What else do I see? Okay, Robert Hand says this. He says, as you encounter this aspect of yourself, you may find it necessary to make extensive changes. Even if you do not realize this, the changes will automatically occur. In either case, as these changes occur, you may experience some difficulty with people who are so used to your old ways that they cannot handle the new one. So say you've come out of some dark space, right? And now you found you're happy again. You're like, you found your optimism again. And someone's like, wait, you've been down in like Mopetown or whatever. It's like, you know, it could almost be like, but I'm seeing more positive people being like, wow, I didn't know you like that, you know, because it's this thing like Saturn in the third is, oh, I've been learning about, what have you been doing, Sag? And it's like, oh, I've been learning about this, or, you know, I've been trying this out. And they're like, oh, again, like, I didn't know you like that. Cool. Like, oh, I kind of like that too. Like, have you ever tried this? And it turns into this thing, because you have this natural, Sag is this natural energy to me to be the teacher, right? It's like you feel responsible to tell other people what the truth is. But I guess it comes down to really brass tacks when you figure out what the truth of who you are now. Because I feel like that's a big thing that's changing. And so any kind of like awareness. What am I seeing? Well, I'm going up into it's mirroring up into the ninth house. I hope this is making sense. Ninth house is like the big picture, right? It's like these third house is your immediate environment, where you live, your yard, your little neighborhood, your neighbors, your town, maybe as a wide point. The opposition of this, the other end of the telephone line, is the big picture. And I think when we're in crisis, or when we're dealing with like all kinds of changes, right? Say you've moved house, or you've lost a spouse, or you've lost a pet, or you graduated school, or you entered into school, or you moved out of the house. It's like these big life changes happening, right? Divorce, married, whatever these bigger changes have been. That's going to keep a person like just paying attention to the really tiny things, like, am I okay? Like, I need to take care of some real fundamental basic stuff. I think because, again, like this said, you're completing a phase of inner work, that now your card is focus, which is funny that won't quite focus, but focus on the big picture. And we have a hawk here in a lighthouse and a bee. So now we're meant to go a little bit wider than we have been for the last couple years. Now, I don't want this to scare you, because sometimes that's hard. We're not saying figure out everything about the future. But we can focus, put some focus into, because I heard now you know where you are. So now you can focus more on where you'd like to be. Right? Small steps will get you there. But the big picture is a beautiful thing. Maybe some of you maybe do you have a big picture? I'm seeing a big painting on someone's wall. Or maybe some of you have like you've created, or you want to create like a vision board. Let's read this big picture card. It's number 19, which is the sun. So this is positive energy. The hawk is also, to me, Leo. It's very solar energy, has a lot of positivity. So now until August. It says, the visionary hawk comes with a powerful message about a higher perspective. The image of the hawk coming out of the eye asks you to transcend your current perception and see the bigger picture. Maybe some of you have had an epiphany about whatever's been happening, and now you're feeling better about it. I'm so happy for you. Okay, it says hawk is aligned with the lighthouse that focuses its light on the bee. Do you see this? It's like bing, bing, bing. It's Pinball Wizard, right? That's a Capricorn reading if you want a reference. It says hawk says you must expand your perception to encompass a higher viewpoint and focus on the thing you want, right? Not the thing you don't want. Not the thing that's making you fucking crazy about the world or about your family. Not that. Not that, because we can't do too much about that. Anyway, it's just going to drain all, I heard, excuse my French, but I heard it's just going to drain all your fucking energy. So you're supposed to focus on what you want. Then victory, represented by the crown atop of this little bumblebee, is the only next logical step. It says hawk is asking you, oh my God, this is so soothing. Hawk is asking you to take control of your thoughts. That's Saturn in the third house too. Because third house is Gemini. It's how you think. It's your opposing energy. With Saturn there, it's giving your mind some structure. It's giving your mind, because you know how sometimes your mind wanders. You can focus on too many things, or like too many people, or whatever. It's like it's giving it some boundaries, helping you to understand more of your internal process. And no offense, but we're just reading. For some folks, it could be saying to stop playing victim to external circumstances, right? I can't do this because the world's like that. I can't do this because my dude that. I can't do this because that. I heard that's irrelevant now. Okay? That's irrelevant now. It says, own the truth that you create your own reality. Is there an eyelash there? Yeah, you want to make a wish? Make a wish. It says, declare that your life is going to be the most fulfilling, prosperous, and joyful you have ever experienced. Yes. Proclaim that you will. Okay, maybe you want to repeat this. I will overcome all obstacles. I will overcome self-doubt and my insecurities. Because I have a gift Well, and I guess this is talking about what the hawk says. It says, because you have a gift that you and only you were created to share. It says, regardless of whether your current situation is less than desirable, this card comes as a confirmation that something beautiful is awaiting you. Let's put the hawk right there. That something beautiful is awaiting you. But the first step is to make the decision to get out of your own ego's limited perception. Testify to the world and yourself that something big is awaiting you. Not even your disbelief in yourself will stop you from fulfilling your purpose. You were created for greatness, and Hawk's Medicine asks you to immediately snap out of whatever discouraging story may be playing in your mind and immediately focus on the power of all the achievements that you have made and that await you. And when we did that snap, I almost feel like, say you get a little discouraged, right? That is completely human and natural. You generally hold a huge level of optimism for the world, right? You give everybody else, like, you can do it. You can do it. Everything's fine. You can get over it. Yeah, you can do this. You can. But when you get discouraged, I don't know if I think you still have support, and I definitely see spiritually very much so. Then I saw the words family, so you got that there too. And then I saw the word friends, okay. And then I saw job, okay. But when you're just in you and you feel like, again, discouraged, maybe your brain's doing that thing. Maybe you want to snap and be like, snap out of it, whatever your name is. Talk to yourself and be like, no, that's not necessary right now. I heard again, maybe there was a time where you had to play small to survive, perhaps. You don't have to do that anymore. Okay? You no longer have to play small. All right, that's pretty powerful. Okay, these are strong cards. Let's see what they are. Let's see, Sagittarius. Just a minute. Okay, I'm going to read these intuitively. So we have the Virgin Mother on the bottom. So some of you, your mother has passed. Maybe or a female in your family ancestrally that has passed wants you to know that it's somebody that held you when you were a baby. I heard is holding you now. And whenever you need it, she's holding you like, I want to cry. There's a female ancestor, somebody that held you when you were a little baby, that cared for you, that was like a divine feminine energy that is still with you whenever you need. Okay? If your mother has not passed on yet, I see it would be good to forgive. If I heard, give that gift to yourself. Okay? Okay, this is pretty strong, but if you've ever, like, lost a child, also, then that child is being held in, I heard, in someone else's arms now. So you help facilitate, through your loss, you helped facilitate some kind of, through your disconnection to something, you helped facilitate the connection for someone else. Whoa. Okay. What's going on in this card? Okay, maybe there's like an event outside. I don't know if it's like a circus or a play or like a flea market or some kind of event with like tents. There's a tent and there's food, different kinds of people. You ever been to a Renaissance fair? I feel like if you're dating, you need to go on an actual date. If you're not dating right now, I feel like a friendship, going out, being around other people would be, I heard, would be great. I don't know if we said that twice, but I guess both of them would be good for you. If you've also been celibate, I could see that kind of like sexual energy might be brewing. If you're not interested, or say you are celibate right now, or you're just not feeling that kind of energy, then you can redirect that sexual energy into creativity if you want to. So maybe think about what you're creating, right? The sacral chakra is, they say, the one that controls over our emotional well-being, our sexual energy, and our creativity. So say you're involved in like, your sexual energy is healthy, but you've been slacking or lacking on creativity, well then maybe sex would help that be promoted. Again, if that's off the table for you and creativity has been lost, then tap into something emotional, you know? Something that stimulates you emotionally in a very positive way. Judgment. Somebody's having a good time here. I think something awakens in a person that's been sleeping, but it's not happening in excess. It's not like I have nothing, I'm overwhelmed by something. It's, I heard, I've been working towards this, Chariot. Oh, look, yeah, see, now you're free of something in a positive way. It's like, I feel like I heard was dragging you down. Maybe it had to do with family. Some of you, this could have been your job. Something, again, there was shifts, right? These big energies. Now something is just opening itself up again. Right? Spring is here. We're getting closer to summer. It feels so good. Don't worry about what you think other people think about you. Maybe that's also what is being let go of, is where a person feels like, I'm going to be judged for what I say, or I'm going to be judged for how I think it's more with you, how you feel, right? How you feel, what you say. So maybe when you're expressing your feelings, didn't we talk about this when I was in Georgia, like right before Zumi died? So it was like about 1.5 years ago. It was talking about like the shift in energy in you, the shift in your body, and being very conscientious of like when you speak, like, where's it coming from, right? When I just slowed down our energy and went back into my body, grounded myself, then instead of it being all up in my just my head, it went into my heart, right? Rather, instead of it coming from my head, it was coming from my heart, Emperor. So some of you are Cancer rising, or that's what I'm seeing is Cancer rising, Aries in the 10th house. So you're wicked intimidating to people in the public. Like, you're super intimidating. They're like, oh my God, who is that woman? Or like, whoa, that dude, like, I don't even know how to approach that. So you may seem, somebody seems unapproachable, but they're actually so incredibly sensitive and gentle. So maybe when you're in public or connecting with the public, 9 of Cups, I heard practice being more water than fire. So what are we talking about? We're talking about being receptive. Like, you could still engage like fire. Like, say you're out in the public and you're somewhere and you're like, hi, like, how are you today? You don't have to know them, but, and then you leave space and you allow that other person to engage with you, because you're usually the doer, right? The initiator, the what have you. So I guess this is practicing more listening in this time too. I also feel like if health-wise you weren't feeling that great, I think something is getting better for you. I think someone's also conscious of like family. I heard family weakness. And I heard how that plays a role with you. Maybe you received something in the mail that's really important to you. Or maybe you want to like, oh, that's a nice way to share who you are. Saturn in the 3rd too. That's another really cool thing about that is Saturn in the 3rd loves old-fashioned kinds of communication. So you call somebody on the phone. That's kind of old-fashioned now. I still do it, but I like hearing people's voices. But you could write a letter. You could send a postcard. You know, it doesn't have to be for Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. It could just be like, just thinking about you. Hope you're well. You know? Love to hear from you what you've been up to, right when you can. And it's just kind of like that. And so if you send out, say, like it's not so old-fashioned, like a text message or an email, and you don't get something, a reply right back, don't think that they're ignoring you. No, they just may have, like, their own stuff on their plate, or maybe they're just not that, like, it may be a person that just doesn't have their phone on them all the time. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Okay. 6 of Swords, I guess we gotta go. Love you, Sag. Remember, you are at completing a phase of inner preparation. You no longer have to play small. Okay? You no longer have to play small. And you know, we've said this before, but like there's this little water child that always comes with you. So that's also a child like spirit that's with you. Beyond your children too. There's like a child spirit with you. Okay. Please take care. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. I hope this was relaxing in some way. I know we're going a little bit fast. It's because I got I wasn't trying to rush it because of everything else, but like, I got supper on, I got laundry in the washing machine, I'm dyeing my hair, like, I just got back from the grocery store, closing up work. It's, you know, lots of things, but we can do it, you know. I'll get done what I can get done. And I thank you for the advice, to look at the big picture. You know, maybe how would you like to see yourself in 10 or 20 years? Where would you like to be? I mean, you could just look at this year if it's too large, but just kind of imagine it, you know, right? What did that say? My life is going to be the most prosperous, fulfilling, joyful, abundant life that I've ever had. That's... Oh, timer's going off. Love you. Peace.